learn the offense and understand that they can be the guy at any given day. So they're all going out there and they're competing, and I'm happy with the way they're going out there. And like I said, Callaway, he's doing a good job of it.
What have you learned about Jawan Jennings and kind of how to coach him and get the most out of him on the practice field?
Well, at the end of the day, all great players, they want to be coached. And that's it. At the end of the day, everybody says he's this, he's that. The guy just wants to be great. And as long as you understand that, there's no issues.
Being on the opposing sideline opposite of him last year, was there anything that surprised you or about him that you didn't expect once you got here and started working with him?
To be honest with you, I really haven't even put any thought into it from that perspective, from a standpoint of I was on the opposing team. I was strictly worried about their defense, and he caught the game winner, and that's just what it was.
The confidence, so how important is that to have that confidence level that he has? You're a go-to receiver.
Oh, yes. I mean, it's everything. Because a lot of times there's guys that have a lot of talent, but then they don't have that confidence to be able to do what they want to do when they want to do it. And so for him to have that type of confidence, we have the belief in him that whenever there's a play needs to be made, he's going to go make it.
Your background with Larry Scott, just what do you think can make him a really good coordinator? What do you see in him?
I just really love the fact that it's not just about X's and O's. It's about those young men and their families and their development on and off the field that means so much to them. And once the kids understand that, because it's not about what you know, it's that you care. And once they see that you care, I mean, everything else take care of itself.
You've obviously been in some big-time college football venues as a player and a coach and stuff, but is there anything in particular about being here at Tennessee that you're most excited about or that you emphasize the most when you're recruiting a guy, or anything particular in that regard?
I think it's a humongous stage. Everybody wants to play at the highest level, and the point of emphasis is it doesn't get any bigger than this on this level. And so just that within itself, to play in front of 102,000, I mean, where else can you go to get that? So that's one of the tactics that we use, and I mean, we're doing a good job in recruiting this year, and we're just continue to try to close strong.
Who are some of the freshman receivers who have kind of caught your eye in camp so far?
Well, I really believe that all of them have had their moments, and then they've had their moments where they kind of hit a wall, so we're just trying to get them to understand they're not in high school anymore. They're not the best. Their signature move in high school doesn't work in college. And trying to get them to understand this is not about comparing, this is about competing. And if you worry about how many reps he got and how many reps you got, how many opportunities he had, you're not competing. And that's taken away from your opportunities. So that's the main thing that we're focusing on, trying to keep them focused on that.
I think with your career as a player, you were on the team. Were you on the team that came here and the team that Tennessee played down there? You were on both of them. What do you remember about? I mean, I know they're just memories now at this point. What do you remember about kind of that game up here and then that one down there?
Well, at the end of the day, I remember winning up here and I remember losing at home. That's what it all boils down to. When you're playing games, especially against big-time programs, and you're going into the game to win, that's all you're focused on, and that's pretty much what it was.
With that loss down there, I think it was the longest home winning streak in the country or something. What was sort of the aftermath of that? I know no loss is ever fun, but when you've lost a streak like that had to be a pretty I guess disappointing situation.
Yes, it was, and I think that's what made us who we were back then. We played with everybody else on our shoulders. And so to lose that game and disappoint and let down all the guys that have done it before us, that was a hard pill to swallow.
Did you think, playing in a place like Miami where there's, the former players, it's, some of the greatest peer pressure that exists, they're on the sidelines, they're there. Does that give you as a coach for a place like this a way to explain to guys sort of, you're walking in the same places that a Peyton Manning and an Al Wilson and Reggie White played. Can you does that help you kind of hammer that point home to some guys?
Well, it's what I try to do is I try to take some of my experiences from Miami and carry them over to Tennessee. But you can't just bring every experience. You know what I mean? So that part of it and trying to make them see the former players like we saw them. It's not that culture here like that, and it's a mindset. Robert Meacham came and he talked to the guys, to the receivers, and it was a good experience. But it's not going to define us or make us. We have to make our tradition for ourselves and get it back to where we want it to be for Tennessee.
Well, I guess what do you remember about sort of that when you're trying to prioritize the things you're worried about as a player? Obviously you said the culture at Miami was different with the guys all over the sideline all the time and everything, but you're trying to focus on doing what you need to do to get your job done. But there's also probably part of you that's thinking like, I got to hear from these guys if I don't.
Yeah, those guys only came. They came the day before the game to talk to you, to give you that, because they have their own lives that they're living, and then when it's about to be game time, they come talk to the position groups and inspire them and get them to understand what's at stake, and then you see them doing game time on the sidelines. So that's when they're on your minds the most, to sit back and you catch a touchdown and Mike Irvin comes up and gives you a high five. Those are the moments that brings that out. Other than that, you're just out there competing and trying to dominate the team across from you.
With the players, I guess, with the group that you've got here, how much have you gotten a sense of the focus this group has? There's a lot of stats to replace, obviously, in the passing game with Josh gone and with Alvin gone and with Karoon gone. And do you get a sense from these guys that they know opportunity is there, that there's a lot of plays out there to be made?
Yes, I think I wanted to establish this coming into this into camp. The theme has been don't compare, compete. And what happens is, a lot of times, young people that they're itching for an opportunity, they're looking at other people's opportunities, and they're so consumed with everybody else, how many plays they got, how many ball opportunities they got, and they're not competing. They're just comparing. And when they get the opportunities, they don't take advantage of it. So trying to get them to eliminate an issue that I know could play a part in their success moving forward, you try to eliminate that, so now that's out of the way.
What kind of camp has Tyler Bird had to this point, as you've been able to kind of watch him on a daily basis?
Yeah, he's having a great camp. He's coming along. We all have our things that we need to get better at, and every day we get better at it, and then the next day we may go take a step backwards. But that's what this camp is all about. It's about reestablishing who you want to be, and then trying to build on that consistency of being that guy.
What about Latrell? Last thing I got, what about Latrell? He's a guy who, we talked in the spring about how you wanted to kind of, it's hard to say what you got because, he's trying to come through and he's trying to hit the ground running, coming back from that hamstring, and it just seems like he's had a much better camp this time than maybe he did in the spring. Or y'all are talking about him better than you are.
Well, I think, like I say, the main focus right now is just trying to build consistency. Because if you have a good day, you can relax and be comfortable and not apply yourself to the next practice because you're still thinking about the last practice. So we just really been trying to build on consistency. And when you have a good day, don't think too much of it. Just keep your eyes on the ground and stay grounded and keep on grinding.
How's the chemistry been with your guys and quarterbacks?
We're working on it. We're working on it. We've been trying to mix some guys in and give some guys the opportunity to play. We're trying to create some uncomfortable moments for guys and to see if they're ready for those moments. And so it's a process, and we still got 3 more weeks left to go, and we're just growing.
Josh Palmer's kind of been the freshman everybody's hyped up about. What have you seen from him?
He's doing a good job. I wouldn't be the guy to hype him up or anything like that. I just think that he needs to just continue to be consistent and not relax on some success that he probably has had, and I think he just needs to keep on growing because he doesn't know how good he can be, and it's a mindset of trying to push him to being the best he can be. So I just stay on him and just try to be relentless on him of being consistent.
With Fant and with Palmer, how much of a blessing is it to walk in with that kind of size? Normally that's a lot of guys are work 3-4 years to kind of get that size, and how much of a blessing is it to have it to start with?
Oh yes, we have a saying: if you can't block, you can't play. And for those guys of being that size, we know that they have the capability of being physical and blocking, and so that gives them a chance, an edge to be able to give us some minutes, some plays this year. So just trying to get them to learn the playbook and execute the technique and the fundamentals. That's been the process.
How much rust, if any, has there been with Princeton, a guy who didn't get to play a lot of football the past 2 years, had a couple of ACL problems, and when you go from not playing much in 2 years and then you come to a place like Tennessee, that seems like it would be a tough thing to adjust yourself to. Is he in that process? Is he knocking off that rust?
Well, you said it would be a tough thing to go through. I feel like when you know better, you can do better. And I think that the thing has been just trying to get him to understand who he is, where he's come from, and where he's trying to go. It won't be as frustrating when you have those bumps in the road. You know what I mean? So that's been the main focus of just trying to keep them educated on the process and not get frustrated and just keep on fighting and break through that wall.
Just trying to keep him at wide receiver. I know if
Yes,
he keeps getting bigger, you're gonna have to worry. You have to tell him like, hey, don't have a second helping there with dinner.
Yeah, that's been part of the fight too.
What's your philosophy on that? Do you teach them all three positions at once? You have guys focus on one when they first come in, or how do you go about that?
Well, we try to put them in one position at first, just to kind of get the feet settled and give them a foundation, and in the process, just trying to explain to them to see the big picture and learn conceptually. Don't just learn your job, because you can be anywhere through a motion or through a shift or anything else. So trying to get them to learn conceptually, but typically that's just how it goes. They learn their position and they tunnel vision on that, and just trying to help them to grow mentally and be able to learn conceptually.
And two guys who were here last year but didn't get to do much, Latrell and Marquez, seems like they have really kind of taken advantage of the opportunity. Is that fair?
Yes, definitely. And I really feel that they'll continue to grow, and they'll continue to get better, and they'll continue to get comfortable. Just because the more you play, the more easier it gets to, hey, it's not a surprise, it's not something that you're not used to. You start to get comfortable. So just trying to put them in as many uncomfortable situations in practice, so that being uncomfortable, it becomes more.